This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV Hindu.
Will Aragiri forego his union cabinet post to return to state politics after a Tamil magazine article triggers speculation? Stalin says he's made no such statement. The PMK attempts to rise from the ashes with the one-year card. Dr. Ramadas threatens statewide protests if reservation demands are not met. It's certainly strategy time for the Titans in the state. AIDMK's Jayalalitha meets her men while Stalin gathers his youth wing. Her father moves to the Madras High Court for his son's education and takes on the school that's pushing him to the limits.
The donation of 20,000 rupees had more weightage and importance than High Court order.
Muralidharan takes a swipe at Bishan Singh Bedi, says he's a controversy monger. Bedi repeatedly called Murali a chakka. And the Indians are on the back foot in the second test against Sri Lanka. Sachin scores his 48th century. Good evening and welcome to Headlines Now on NDTV Hindu. I'm Evelyn Matthew.
And I'm Sanjay Pinto. Two big political stories. Will Alagiri throw his hat in the ring yet again, or is it just speculation by a Tamil magazine? And the PMK's war cry on 1 year. All that and more in a very short while from now. Evelyn.
There's plenty happening nationally as well. Let's bring you those top stories. Chaos in Parliament over price rise for the second day. Speaker rejects the opposition demand for a vote. The Lok Sabha is adjourned for the day. Tragedy strikes Pakistan in the worst ever crash in the nation. All 159 passengers on board have died. Details of 25 calls between Amit Shah and accused cop-turned approver N.K. Amin during the alleged killing are out. Visiting Prime Minister of Britain seconds India's bid for a seat in the UN Security Council, says the nation is a responsible global power. Will Union Cabinet Minister Aragiri quit from his post at the centre to return home to state politics? Well, that's the big debate triggered off by an article published in a Tamil magazine, which has said that Aragiri has decided to quit after the monsoon session of the Parliament. Stalin, in his latest statement, has said that he has not made any statement of that sort lately. And for more on that top story, over to my executive editor, Sanjay Pinto.
Thank you, Evelyn. Now, we are joined in the newsroom by my colleague and senior editor, Radhika Iyer, who will take us through this latest development. Is this speculation or is there more to it? Radhika, thank you for joining us. Of course, now we do know, just a short while ago, M.K. Stalin, the Deputy Chief Minister, and M.K. Alagiri's younger brother has said that he's rubbished this entire report, saying that Alagiri has given no such statement.
That's right, Sanjay. That clearly is an indication that the family at this stage is being very, very guarded, wants to play it safe. In fact, just a few minutes ago, like you were saying, M.K. Stalin, the Deputy Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, has at the Youth Wing press meet just a few minutes ago, in fact, clarified that the reports of M.K. Aragiri, his brother, resigning as the Union Chemicals Minister is completely false. He's also said that he has no idea of any such report. Now, the fact that something like this has actually come out today in the news is thanks to this very report in a vernacular magazine, Sanjay, which as usual has been indicating that M.K. Aragiri wants to resign from the post of the Union Chemicals Minister
Radhika,
soon after the monsoon session.
Here. Yes, Radhika. Now, in fact, we do know that this magazine is actually known to be close to the M.K. Alagiri camp. So, is it a war also being fought very subtly through newspapers, through channels, through magazines? And is this unity between the two brothers? Just recently we know that at the airport, Delhi airport, Alagiri is supposed to have waited for half an hour to receive his brother M.K. Stalin. The two are supposed to have had breakfast together. Is this just a facade? Is this unity just superficial? Or if you scratch the surface, is Alagiri's burning desire going to come out?
Well, absolutely, Sanjay. In fact, if you remember at the grand birthday bash of the Chief Minister just a few days ago, when he turned 86, there was this gala function that took place right here in Chennai, where, of course, MK Stalin was there on the dais. However, MK Aragiri was right down there. Even someone like Khushbu, who is a new entrant into the DMK, was sitting there on the dais. All of this, perhaps, according to very close associates of MK Aragiri, has not gone down well with the union minister, of course. And we do know that this has been, of course, unofficial at this stage, but there have been reports of him being not very happy with his post in the center, because his interest has always been in the state. And in fact, a few months ago, he had openly said that he wants to, in fact, perhaps even contest for elections within the party. So yes, clearly, MK Aragiri at this stage perhaps maybe quiet, but this perhaps is an indication that there is a calm before the storm. We will have to wait and see whether he will actually go ahead and make it official that he is unhappy with his post in the center and wants to actually play his card in the, at the state level, and whether even before he does that, the DMK family per se will be able to control his aggressiveness at this stage of this disgruntled son of the Chief Minister, to try and contain it at least till the elections are over, so that they ensure that any open split at this moment will mean advantage Jayalalitha.
Yes, that's very well put. The calm before the storm, Radhika. But how much of a tightrope walk is it going to be for Mr. Karunanidhi? Because many want, the DMK want him to actually, be projected as the chief ministerial candidate, of course, and in 2011 bring the party back to power, defying the, the traditional pendulum swinging every 5 years doctrine in Tamil Nadu. Now, Alagiri seems to have everything going for him. Even his discomfort in Parliament had been, in fact, put to rest, because the Speaker had called him and said that he could answer in Tamil, and the other questions would be fielded by his other minister. Do you think the brothers would actually upset the apple cart now? Don't you think they would bide their time, wait for the elections to be over, let Karunanidhi see them through the next election, and then perhaps the war of succession, if it is to take place, will break out in the open then? Do you think it's too premature now for the brothers to actually hurt their own interests and the parties by doing this?
Very perfect analysis, in fact, Sanjay, because upsetting an apple cart just now, just before the assembly elections, would be advantage Jayalalitha, like we've been saying, because considering the Chief Minister's 86th year is obviously going to be the most difficult year for him, not just as a politician, but also as a father, considering he has these two sons now, while one of them he's almost indicated will be the heir apparent, someone who's already holding the post of the Deputy Chief Minister. But what will make it more difficult for the Chief Minister just before the elections will be to ensure, and he will obviously be preparing for a day like this, considering he would be doing his homework to make sure that both his sons are given enough on their plate to ensure that the split is not as wide open, not as official, right, to make sure that it doesn't really advantage the opposition at this stage. And about MK Aragiri per se, yes, we do know that he's always been aggressive in his style of politics, but he will ask for his share. But when he will do so is something that that the Chief Minister would be on tenterhooks and make sure that he would keep his prodigal son perhaps quiet for some more time, and make sure that the elections, first of all, is a smooth sail, considering both his sons have made it official that they will see only Dr. Kalaignar as the man as the man who will take over when DMK comes back, if and when they come back in the next assembly elections.
Yes, very, very briefly, Radhika, I know both the sons, in fact, both MK Stalin and MK Alagiri have always said that this debate is inconsequential at this stage. They want this to be even raked up only in a post-Karunanidhi scenario. They've made it very clear. I like the phrase you used, the prodigal son. Do you think the prodigal son could at some point turn Shylock and extract his pound of flesh as well? Because we all know that Stalin has always, and you said apple cart, we all know that Stalin has always been the apple of his father's eye, and he, of course, Alagiri has been the prodigal son. But there's no way you can actually discount Alagiri here, because we do know his clout, the kind of influence he wields in southern Tamil Nadu, entirely under his sway. 10 out of 10 Lok Sabha seats he delivered for the DMK Congress combined. So there's no way you can actually antagonize Alagiri. The DMK has learned that the hard way as well in the past. So also that report seems to suggest that Alagiri, some compromise formula hasn't worked out. Alagiri would prefer to be Public Works Department Minister, a lucrative portfolio, I must say, like his father had earlier when he started off, and Stalin would be the Chief Minister should the DMK come to power. Of course, this is a hypothetical situation now. So do you think that compromise formula is also a figment of imagination and speculation, or could there actually have been some deal brokered?
Well, Sanjay, if you observe the style at which Aragiri has been functioning, he's been blowing hot and cold. If we remember, there has been an instance where he's made his dissent public, where he has said that it will be only his father who will be the head of the chief of the DMK, and then there's been a lull, and then of course there's been just about 2 months ago we did see another report in the very same magazine, which again indicated that he is unhappy at this stage, and that perhaps that he wants to throw in his hat in the state level as well. If you remember, there was also a poster in Madurai when we had gone there to shoot. There was a poster which showed an empty chair, and just beside that showed Aragiri as CM. Now that's for people to that's for people's imagination. Of course, CM, does that mean the chief minister? Is that what he's indicating, or is he will he get away with an explanation saying he was just indicating that he is the chemicals minister? So Aragiri in that sense has been blowing hot and cold, but clearly this politician is not going to let the bone be taken away, walked away so easily by his other brother, considering he has made it in so many words. He has perhaps said it to his father himself. But we have been speaking, Sanjay, to sources within the DMK and also within the family who say that at this stage, they are very clear that the reports are false and that MK Aragiri has no such plan, unless, of course, he does wants to surprise everyone like he always has.
All right. Thank you very much, Radhika Iyer, for joining us. United we stand. That seems to be the chorus emanating from the DMK's first family here. Evelyn?
Well, one thing's for sure, the heat is certainly on in Tamil Nadu. It's not just the DMK, but other political parties too, trying with their heart and soul to capitalize on their vote banks ahead of the General Assembly elections. Today, it was the Patali Makkal Katchi in action. The party that faced repeated electoral routes recently has decided to play its one-year card effectively.
It's reservation politics again in Tamil Nadu, and this time PMK wants an exclusive 20% quota for the one-year community. The party is playing the caste card in time to capitalize on its vote bank before the 2011 assembly elections. Smarting from the snub it got from the ruling DMK, the party's founder Ramadas is intent on ensuring that people don't forget the violence in 1987, which led to the formation of this party.
1987 செப்டம்பர் மாதம் அந்த செய்த போராட்டத்தை விட இனி நாங்கள் எங்களுடைய கோரிக்கை நிறைவேறவில்லை என்று சொன்னால் இனி நாங்கள் அடுத்து செய்ய இருக்கின்ற போராட்டம் மிக கடுமையான போராட்டமாக மன்னியர்களுடைய வாழ்வா சாவா கவன்னியர்களுடைய வாழ்வா சாவா என்பதை நிர்ணயிக்கக்கூடிய போராட்டமாக கடுமையான போராட்டமாக அந்த போராட்டம் இருக்கும் என்று இந்த நேரத்திலே நாங்கள் சொல்லிக்கொள்ள விரும்புகின்றோம்.
So what exactly happened in 1987? The then one-year Sangam began protesting in the northern districts, demanding reservation in jobs and education. The protesters axed huge trees along the national highways, completely cutting off road transport. Police resorted to firing, killing more than 21 protesters. Political tension continued for more than 7 days. Public transport had to be operated with police vehicles on tow. Curfew was imposed on public transport after 9 p.m. for security reasons. The government finally succumbed to their demands. Caste is where it all started for the PMK, and the party believes that if they play their cards smartly, caste is what will keep them safe this elections. Bureau Report, NDTV Hindu.
Let's go back once again to our executive editor Sanjay Pinto for that twist in the story of Tamil Nadu politics.
Thank you, Evelyn. We are joined by Mr. R. Velu, former Union Minister and Senior Party Leader. Thank you, sir, for joining us.
Yes.
So I'd like to ask you a question that is probably on the mind of the common man.
Yeah.
Many people appreciate the PMK stance when it comes to prohibition, the anti-liquor agitation, the anti-Dr. Anbumani Ramdas's crusade against the tobacco lobby, right? But still people wonder, why is the PMK, I mean, is this a call to violence in a sense, that you're harking back to the 87 when you had those, violent protests for the playing the one-year card. So is the PMK now actually giving an indirect threat to violence?
I want to make it amply clear. PMK, as of now, does not believe in violence.
As of now?
As of now.
Okay.
Because
in the past, we
have come a long way, where our leader, Dr. Iyer, has been teaching us to approach problems in a peaceful way so that we
So
get
no more
the-
cutting trees and blocking roads.
No, not at all. Not
Because
at
now
all.
you have Pasumai Taigam. You
Not
can't.
at all. We are planting lakhs and lakhs of trees.
Okay.
On the 25th.
to atone for what happened, all the
On
trees that you
25th
cut.
of this month, when this birthday of our leader,
Okay.
we planted trees everywhere.
Okay.
And in fact, we are more than amply compensated.
Talking of trees, are you now going back to your roots in a sense? Because you did try to get that Rajya Sabha seat for Dr. Anbumani Ramdas.
Yeah.
I know the party was extremely miffed and upset that you didn't get it.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, that almost became a kind of a condition to get back to the alliance. Revolving door politics never changes in Tamil Nadu. Yeah. Now that you realize that the DMK doesn't want to really oblige you this time, that you're going back to your roots, to the one-year community, to appease that community. We do know that the one-year community has 15% vote share in the state. So is that your game plan now, sir?
No, the game plan is now the one-year community has the single largest community in the state. In fact, it is where the predominantly in most of the northern districts.
In northern Tamil Nadu, but you have a considerable sway there. But there is also a one-year lobby within the DMK, within the AIDMK. So there's no monopoly as such of the one-year thing, because the one-year Sangam has also attacked the PMK in the past, saying that you're actually practicing family politics. And
not at all, because what I'm trying to say is the one-year Sangam when it started as a party based on the people belonging to one-year Sangam. Today, this party is encompassing all the communities, right from the upper caste, the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes,
but
the
the
minorities,
MBC quota was within the BC quota,
the
sir.
backward class.
That's why the MBC quota was brought within the BC quota there.
Yes, within the earlier there were only the BC quota. It has been divided into two parts, BC and MBC. In fact, when that 87 after agitation, the Tamil Nadu government announced about 20% reservation. Okay. In that, our leader wanted a compartment reservation, as is prevalent in Karnataka, Andhra and Kerala. But they did not oblige. After having experienced last 20 years, when we evaluated the entire system, whether this community has gained so far in these 20 years, not in 5 to 6% out of 20%.
But why is that you make this when you're in the opposition, not when you're part of the alliance?
In fact,
when you're part of the alliance, it's not that strong. I mean, even if they are whispers, when now they become like loud protests.
No, but our leader has been consistently going on voicing this point. In fact, this is a community which is suffering. Today, out of 58% of the huts, he is only in the 7 districts of Tamil Nadu, Kannur, Viluppuram, Tirunnamalai, Vellore, Dharmapuri, Salem, like that. Out of which Dharmapuri, Viluppuram also accounts for 13%, out of which 50% of 13%, all the one-years live in the huts. The economically very, very poor people, they are below the poverty line. Most, distress condition. They, in fact, Satyanathan Commission, when it has examined the whole issue of the backward classes and said this community has got 65 lakh of population. He said in one of the places, these people coexist with the cattle. They live with the cattle. They sleep with the cattle.
No, there's no denying the fact that the one-year community definitely needs that upliftment. There's no debate on that. But again, to bring you back to the political mainstream here in Tamil Nadu, sir. The PMK chose not to participate in the recent Bharat Bandh. Why? Are you trying to keep that window open with the DMK? Don't antagonize the DMK. Don't antagonize the Congress. Don't do anything against them.
Not at all. Not at all. That is not our idea. In fact, see, in a politics, anything can happen. Okay.
Precisely. And the PMK knows that better than anyone else. Because the party has been a fence sitter.
No, not fence sitter. Today, we have not taken any sides. We are now strengthening our party.
Play it safe.
Spreading our tentacles, strengthening the party, the membership.
You're like Paul the octopus, spreading your tentacles. But will I remember the PMK, in fact, earlier said that whichever alliance they join, that alliance wins. So PMK wants to play Paul the octopus.
No. Why do you accuse PMK alone? That means in the Tamil Nadu party.
There are other parties also.
Other parties also with changing camps. So PMK alone cannot be made responsible that it is changing the alliance every time. Not at all. Every party does it. Communist does it, or ADMK does it, Congress does it. Why you blame our party alone?
Fair enough. So finally, I would like to ask you, now where does your party stand? Are you now, you're going to spend time strengthening your party base, which is why, you're even harking back to the 1 year, the demand for 1 year, reservation for 1 year, 20%. Will you go back to the DMK? What are the odds right now stacked against this? Will you go back to the DMK, join that alliance, or will you wait and watch from the sidelines and see whichever side actually romps home, then you will extend, and which is why you want to win as many seats as possible?
The alliance question comes as one more
year. Pre-poll or post-poll?
One more year. In fact, you rightly asked the question. In fact, in India, no party can win an election with an alliance. Okay, that is made clear. But now, as of now, as I said earlier, we are strengthening our party. In fact, we try to work on that. You remember the Pannakaram elections? We did wonderfully well.
But you said that it was rigged. You said it was rigged. You would have won otherwise, you said.
I did not go into that. I don't want to go into that one. But anyhow, it is an indication that the party is getting strengthened. Pannakaram is a kind of message to Tamil Nadu politics that this party has got a stronghold, not only Pannakaram, in the North Tamil Nadu.
All right, let me if I can ask you to actually stick your neck out at this stage, as we sit today on the 27th. What do you feel? Do you believe that the PMK will go back to the DMK?
I cannot say that now. Why? Because it is my leader.
Do you desire? Do you want the PMK to go back to the DMK? No, as I said,
in an alliance, I mean, anything can happen in politics.
Do you rule out the PMK going back to Amma?
No, that I cannot commit now.
You kept all the options open.
Options open. Why? Because in India, in fact, one thing is the election is far away. 1 year. It is too immature, too premature to say that I will go to this party, I will go to that. I will strengthen my party. I will say that as I did it wonderfully well in Pannakaram, we will see that in all the constituencies where we are going to contest, we will definitely play colours.
You will keep the mango ripe. Whether with calcium carbonate or not, but you will keep the mango ripe, whether it's artificially ripened or not.
No, we don't believe in artificial ripe.
You don't believe in the pesticides also, I know, yes.
First of all, mango is very sweet. Everybody likes mango. So I think people of Tamil Nadu will continue to like mango.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Velu, for joining us. Really appreciate your time. I know you came all the way from Vellore, I think, to join us in the studio. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate your time.
Thank you for giving opportunity. Thank you, sir. I thank all the viewers of NDTV for giving this opportunity and also hearing our views of the PMK.
Please keep coming back. Please keep coming back to us.
And you have rightly mentioned Dr. Anbumani Ramdas, his singular contribution on the anti-tobacco, where 10 lakh people die in this country. He has championed the cause.
Credit where it is due. Thank you very much, sir. Evelyn?
Thanks very much indeed, Sanjay, for joining us with that discussion. Now, still ahead, coming up on the bulletin, Pranav Babu replies to the adjournment motion decision. He says his government has not failed. And he may have retired from tests, but there's a volley of exchanges between Muralidharan and a former Indian captain. Stay tuned.